Hello everyone, Tony Bustos here. So happy to have had you at our training. It was a lengthy training where we introduced a few things to you, including the first kiss formula, the embassy method, which really stressed the importance of the emotions and the variety of ways that you can remember things, and then also we helped you to understand the chain method. Now, there's a lot that still have concerns after the training, after so much information was being provided. And first of all, we want to make sure that we helped you to appreciate that imagination is something that can be intimidating. We live in a world where we don't really have to imagine everything with our telephones and the television. However, by using your imagination and developing it, the whole learning process becomes much more interesting and less boring. In fact, you should also understand that some are kind of intimidated with the idea that Johnny Golfera is some type of memory genius. But in fact, like you and myself, he's a normal person with a memory like all of us. But in creating the Golfera Method, he was able to devise a way to be able to take his memory to another level. And that's what we want you to appreciate, is that that's what this method can do. It's helped me and helped thousands of people that he's worked with to understand that they can unlock the potential of their memory and really enjoy the process of that. Another thing we want you to appreciate too is that the book that you have is the manual that can help you. And that's really the first step. But just like a driver's manual, it can only take you to a certain level. It gives you the concepts, the principles of driving, but really, like driving, we need someone to be able to help you. And that's where we come into play, that we want to be there for you. It's important to understand there's two ends of the spectrum. A manual can help you to understand, and the other would be if someone does everything for you. Well, just like driving, I can't drive for you. And just like with memory, we can't drive or be able to remember or do everything for you. But what we can do is be with you for the whole process. And by joining the masterclass, what we'll be able to do is to help you on a weekly basis for 2 hours every single week to be able to give you examples, to explain the program, provide information, provide examples, go over the information that you have that you're concerned with, and then provide feedback for how you can use this to be able to open up the full potential of your memory. Now, we'd like to answer some questions we received by email after the training. The first question is, in order to learn complicated texts, do I have to have a lot of visual images banked? No. In fact, the key to the system is to keep it fresh and to be able to create images and enjoy the process. Not having regular banked images will actually be more difficult to be able to recall things. In fact, using your emotions to make images makes it more interesting and more lively. An example of this is in order to remember Johnny Golfera's last name, Golfera, well, most programs will talk about using images like golf. But using the Golfera method and the emotions involved with it will take it to the next level. So in order to remember the idea of the visualization of golf, for me, I think about times when I was young playing golf with my grandfather and then remembering the name. And in this way, I got an emotional attachment, and it helps me to be able to remember that name. The second one is, how long will I remember the information that I am studying? Well, virtually forever. As we talked about in the training, the first kiss formula helps you to tap into the emotions, to tap into your amygdala and to your hippocampus, and in that way the images are there in your long-term memory and you'll always have access to the images. The third question is, I'm too old and my memory is not very good. Well, scientists have shown that into our 80s we still have access to our brain. One of the issues is when we stop using the ability to learn new things and access our long-term memory. If we decrease that ability to learn, the neuroplasticity of our brain becomes weakened. So it's even more vitally important to keep continuing to learn new things as we get older. One recent study showed that when people learn 3 new skills over a 3-month period, it brings their brain back to a period of almost 30 years younger. Hence the importance of continuing to learn things like new languages, which have shown that by learning new languages as we get older will actually help us to be able to keep a younger mind. The next question, in using the method, am I just becoming a parrot and just repeating? Well, actually, by activating a wider part of your brain, we learn how to make things more interesting and how to connect things. So instead of just repeating information, we actually learn how everything connects together, which is another reason why it's easier to remember the information. The next question is, what if I have limited time and have a lot of stuff to do during the day? Well, this is one of the keys about the Golfera method. In learning how to use this method, we become more efficient in all areas of our life. So processing information, learning new things, we will be more effective and more efficient, and instead of losing our keys and not knowing where things are, we'll be able to process it quicker. And in fact, The 2 hours a week of the master class will help you to become more efficient so that in the long run, you'll have more time to do the things that you need to do and want to do. Next, what if I have no clear direction of what I need to study? Well, then this is the prime time to learn this method. Because either we're going to be going back to school, or perhaps in our professional lives we have something that we have to study. And in fact, becoming a lifelong learner, which I've stressed with all my students for years, helps us to enjoy learning in the process of learning so that when we need to learn something, it becomes easy. We already know how to do it. And finally, what if I have a problem such as dyslexia or ADHD? Well, this method is vitally important and helpful because it helps one to organize information, to learn how to process that information and not get bored. Johnny Golfera, as a young man, started this process of memory and learning how to create this program because he was bored and had problems in school. By learning how to be able to organize this information, we don't have to worry about getting bored. We process information faster and easier, become something we become familiar with. And you have a prime example in the training of Tamar Hassan, who's an actor who had problems with dyslexia. But by learning the program, gained the confidence and ways to organize information to learn his long lines for any acting part that he had. So now you're saying, you know what, this does sound good. And so we want to be very clear about what we're providing for you, because what we were able to cover yesterday is just the beginning. Now you have the option to be able to open up the full potential of the power of your brain by using emotions to tap into your amygdala and your hippocampus to be able to really understand and to learn information. And so we want you to understand also that what this then means is we get to be able to be there for you. See, the first step is that manual, but then taking it to the next level involves being able to practice. But it also involves a 3-step process of not only learning how to acquire the information, which we can provide for you, and then helping you to apply that. The application is the next big part. But after that, we want to help you to have amplification, to take it to the next level so that you can really feel comfortable and to learn how to do that. And so our idea is that we can help you by tailoring it to the needs that you have each week. As an example, Johnny just recently was involved in buying a diet book to be able to learn how to lose some weight. But after reading the book, he had some questions. So what did he do? He called the doctor, got in contact with them, and learned that just reading the book wasn't going to help him. He had to tailor his needs by talking to the doctor, finding out his weight, his weekly regime of daily activities that he did. And in the process, he was able to amplify the benefits and really see the full potential. And that's what we want to do with you with the masterclass. By being part of the masterclass, we get to work with you weekly for 2 hours each week to go over the material that you're covering so that you can feel confident to be able to learn all the information. Send us your questions ahead of time each week, and then during the class we can cover that. And in the class we can also go over material so that you can understand how to take the information, processing it, to acquire it, but then not only to apply it, but really amplify the benefits of it so that you can feel like you really know what it is you're covering. Sign up today and start learning. Unlock the potential of your memory and change your life.